Hey, what's going on? How we doing? Great to see you. Welcome back to another stream. We have CPI release in 8 minutes, so do make sure you drop a big thumbs up on the stream for the CPI data release reaction. And yeah, do subscribe if you're new. But welcome everyone. Please do drop a like on the stream. Let's get those likes going. We've got CPI in 7 minutes. Let's get it. Let's be ready for it. How are we doing, everyone? We've got Pellin in the chat. We've got Prosper. Where to get the CPI news real time? Well, I'm going to be reacting to it. We'll have a look at what comes through straight away. We'll get the reaction live. John, how we doing? Alex, welcome. Yeah, should be a fun one. Obviously, be staying on afterwards as well. Don't just stay for the CPI release. We'll be staying on for the US market open as well an hour later. But yeah, let's get it. So if we go over to FX Street, we do have estimation of 2.6. The previous one coming at 2.8. So the estimation is that inflation comes in 0.2% lower than the last release. Now you've got to remember the release is a month behind, so the data that we're getting today is March's data, because obviously it's a little bit lagging. So yeah, but obviously the data that was released in March came in at 2.8, so we're expecting the data coming in today to be 2.6. So yeah, 6 minutes. We'll get ready for it, and then we'll cover everything Bitcoin, ETH, obviously look at the S&P and NASDAQ from yesterday. We'll look at the Mag 7, and we'll look at altcoins, of course, as well. Do make sure, though, come on, let's get the likes going, everyone. Do get the likes going. Should be a great... Well, let's hope we get some volatility anyway. Let's see what we're doing on the like situation. We've got 43 people watching and 7 likes. Come on, guys. You can do better than that for sure. Everyone take 2 seconds of your time to go and smash that like button. Let's get us over 20 likes at least. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Get the likes in. Pellin says CPI dumped to 80k, then back to 82k range. So that's your thing. We'll also look at Bitcoin. We'll look at what Stonksy's been saying. But I have come prepared today with what I am thinking on Bitcoin. And we'll run through that. Potentially, obviously, we've got Friday tomorrow and then the weekend coming up. Easy, Kev. How we doing, my man? Great to see you. But yeah, do make sure. Come on, let's get these likes in. We've got 8 likes, 15 likes. So come on, everyone take 2 seconds of your time. Let's get these likes up. Let's get towards 30. There's no reason why we can't be. And for those of you who aren't subscribed, please do drop me a subscribe. We are edging towards 2,000 subscribers, which will be a great achievement for this channel. We got Silver saying Scousematic. Yes, mate. You know that. Thank you very much for joining the stream, everyone. 5 minutes to go. And do make sure, obviously, if you want to join Stonksy, this is the indicator we're looking at. We'll cover Stonksy in depth today, I think. It's been a while since we had a big run through on what exactly Stonksy is. And yeah, you can get 20% off your first month. So if you haven't tried Stonksy yet, click the second link in the description. You'll come to this page on the website. So when you come to the website, click Start Now. Click the monthly button here to take you through. And yeah, put the discount code, which is in the description. It's also pinned in the chat. And you'll get 20% off your first month. And the best thing is, it's a monthly rolling plan. So you could come and try us for a month. And yeah, there's no ties or anything after that. It is just a monthly rolling plan. So there's no contract or anything. And if you do want to take advantage of this offer, you obviously get full indicator access, Discord access. And for those of you that don't know, we do run trading bots on BLOFIN. So you get access to all of that no matter what plan you're on. And if you do want to pay in crypto, just click this email hype a link here and just email in. Say you want to get the monthly plan with the bot 20 discount, and we'll sort that out for you. But yeah, we are coming in. We've had a bit of a flat morning on Bitcoin for the most part. Obviously, this was the peak from last night upon that crazy day that we had yesterday. Crazy turn of events, wasn't it? And then, yeah, we've come down, settled kind of sideways, haven't we, for the past good amount of hours. 2.6. That is what the estimated, yeah. So, forecasted, yeah, year on year, headline CPI 2.6. How you meant to trust a scouser with their face covered, said Professor. Well, I'm sure there's plenty of Stonksy users in the chat that will tell you just how cool a product Stonksy is and how good it is. But if you don't take my word for it. Come on a YouTube channel, have a look at all the videos, join the streams. Obviously, TMG, it's TMG's company, so you know who TMG is. If you do want someone with a face that you know is promoting Stonksy, TMG is the creative Stonksy. He owns the company. Obviously, he's fully doxed and obviously been around in the space for many years. Me personally, I'm the Stonksy content guy. I do the live streams every single day, put the content together for the YouTube. But I'm not fully out there in terms of like the crypto world and stuff like that. So yeah, it can be a bit of a, obviously, there's obviously pros and cons to fully doxing yourself. So I'm not quite at that point. If I ever do get to that point, anyway. You got to remember, you're putting yourself out there, aren't you, to thousands of people. So, but yeah, I mean, in terms of a product, come on the website, have a look at the website yourself. Look at the YouTube videos, come into the live streams. Obviously, TMG uses it on his live streams. And with any plan, even when you're using the discount, you get full indicator access to the Discord server, and whitelisted for the trading bots on BLOFIN. And there is some updated news around the trading bots as well very soon. But we are getting a little 1 minute candle pump here. Gone up a couple of $100. Right, we've got 30 seconds to go. 30 seconds to go. How many likes are we on? 21 likes, 58 viewers. Everyone, do make sure you get a like in. Come on, we're at roughly 30%, well, 33%-ish like rate to viewer rate. So come on, let's get going. And we have got 14, 13, coming up to 10 seconds now. And let's see what we're going to get. Ooh. 3, 2, 1. Bing, 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 bing. What we going to get? Because reaction. Oh, big old pump to the upside here. Big old pump on Bitcoin. We'll go and have a look exactly what the data came in at. Let's see. Let's get the reaction on Bitcoin first. We had a big old spike all the way up. Let me get rid of this box so you can properly see it. All the way up to just shy of $82,500 there. So a nice little run up the past couple of minutes. Let's see what the SPX is doing. Big spike on the 1 minute candle on the S&P 500 as well. But yeah, we are surging to the upside on the 1 minute time frame here. Let's go and see what the data came in at. Was that two? Did that say 2.4? Oh no, oh wait, what's going on here? Yeah, 2.4. Wow, it came in a lot lower than expectations. So the forecast was 2.6. The last one came in at 2.8, and we got 2.4. So that is cool. That is very cool. Is that the lowest? That must be close to being the lowest one yet. Now, the significant thing about this is that, the one thing that Powell has, really beat the drum on is getting inflation down towards the 2% figure and staying down there. That is pretty close, isn't it? 2.4 is really getting there now. I want to go and have a look and see what the lowest one is that we've had over recent time, because that must be close. I know who you are, Dave. That beautiful face is made for TV. Yeah. We'll see. Sean says, afternoon, Dave. Enjoying the content. Sunbathing in Manchester. Do we reckon we get a good CPI? Well, you must have put that comment in before. We did get a very good CPI. The reaction was good as well, to be fair. We did get a nice little push up. We haven't come in and taken, so if we go to, say, the 1 hour chart now, we haven't taken anywhere close to, obviously, yesterday's high. But potentially, is this, obviously we've had big pump, push down. Has this kind of been a low time frame bottoming out phase? And then now we're going to continue back to the upside, maybe? One potential way to look at it. But yeah, that was fun. Do make sure you drop a like on the stream if you haven't. 25 likes. So we're nearly at 50%. Good job, guys. Good job. Good job. Now, we look forward to the US Open. So now that we've had CPI coming cool, let's head over and start the poll. Do make sure you get your voting on the poll. Let's see where we're going to go. Where do you think we're going on US Open now we've had cool CPI? Following on from yesterday's huge pump across the board. Do let me know by voting on the poll. But yeah, we got cool CPI. The estimation was 2.6. This is the one we're looking at here. So the estimation was 2.6. We got 2.4, so below expectations, which is good in terms of looking out for what the Fed is obviously wanting to cut rates. They want it as close to 2% as possible consistently, which it has been. So something I want to check before we move on to the charts, I just want to get something up. We're going to go and have a look because I'm interested to see how close that was to being the lowest. Let's see. Right, let me get this up. So I've got it up. Let me pull this back up on the screen for everyone to see. So we've had 2.4. So we did get 2.4 back in. So we got 2.5 in September. Now, obviously, this you got to remember it's a month. The actual data is for a month previous. But released in September, we got 2.5. We got 2.4 in October. And then we was on a steady kind of uptrend-ish. We had 2.6, 2.7, 2.93. Then obviously we got 2.8 last month. And then we got 2.4. So we are cool CPI. Cool CPI. But we are retracing most of this CPI pump now. On the low time frame, of course. But yeah, cool CPI. Cool as ice. So let's see what we're going to get. I imagine the S&P, to be fair, it's holding up a little bit better than Bitcoin on the 1 minute chart. But yeah, very interesting. There we go. Cool CPI, 2.4, estimated to be 2.6. So lower than expectations. Now, it'll be interesting to see what that does to the Fed watch for probabilities on the Fed. So there's the next Fed meeting comes on the 7th of May. So we've got just shy of a month to go before the next FOMC meeting. So we'll see what comes about from that. But we do have 55 minutes until US Open. So get excited. We'll see what the reaction is as the US market comes out of traps. We will now move over. I'm just going to get a quick drink. Good afternoon to you, Stonksy. Great to see you in the chat again. Just going to get a quick drink and then we'll move over. We'll look at Bitcoin first. And then I think we will look at the S&P 500 from the pump yesterday. We'll have a look at the MAG 7. And then we'll move on to some altcoins. We'll look at ETH, Sol, and whatever else you guys want as we wait for US Open in 55 minutes. But that was fantastic. So it just depends what we're going to get now. Are we going to get Bitcoin moving on back? So we've pretty much retraced. Obviously, we had them two green candles before the big one. They came in the run-up to CPI. So we fully retraced that move now. Are we ready to maybe go back to the upside now? Right. Thomas Max says, pretty sure we are still in the bull run. Well, it's not been invalidated yet, has it, really? It's not been invalidated yet. Statistically, like, if you, regardless of, opinions and stuff like that, you would say, we'd have to. I mean, one trend you can look at is obviously, and we look at I think we looked at this the past 2 Mondays on the stream with Justin on Mondays. It's the 50 weekly moving average. The trend has been since. Even if you look back to last cycle, it reclaimed, touch, took off, came down, touch, held, again, touch here, started messing around here, fell below, got back above, and then rejected, and then rejection, reclaim, and then obviously since we reclaimed the 50 moving average on the weekly, it's been plain sailing. So that's potentially one alongside, levels of interest in terms of SR. One thing we want to look at, we also potentially, we want to look at Stonksy. What is Stonksy saying? If you look back all to last cycle, obviously the background was green on the whole run up. We then turned to red and dropped down from around 55k to about 35k. We then went into a no trade zone, and then back into the red around 40k, and then dropped all the way down. Obviously we hit the lows, and then that officially went into the green about 22k. And it's still been riding it to the upside. So again, something we'd be wary of is obviously Stonksy turned red here, or in the near future. We don't want that. But yeah, should we have a look to see what's going on? So, so I just want to mark on the Monday high here, and then hang on, I need a lighter color. What color should I go for? Should I go for orange? Let's go for orange. Oh, right. Let's have a look. Let's see what the comments are saying. No comments. If you do have anything you want to say, do get it across. So we'll turn Stonksy off for just a second, and we'll have a look at potentially where we're going next. So obviously, to sum up this week so far, and just where Bitcoin's currently at, obviously we have demand down here, towards 74.5k, all the way up to 75.5. Got that kind of 1k region where prices dipped in and dipped out quickly as demand's coming. We've obviously now got this kind of region here. That's what I've used as a box. So as you can see, we previously used this as support, support. You maybe, you could move this or you could widen it, whatever you want. But kind of this area here, obviously came in and touched up into resistance as well. We do also have Monday's high, which, can typically be a key factor for where price trades. But obviously we've come up and kind of used that as support as well. So mark that on there as a key factor. What have we got? We've got the monthly open just above as well, but doesn't look like it's having too much of an effect. Keep it on there anyway. But the big ones, I think, coming into this, the end of this week and this weekend, is obviously here. So I think any sort of drive potentially above here obviously clears out a lot of liquidity built up over here. We do then have this area here as well. So this area is quite key, obviously used as resistance and, points of consolidation on the price. Now, we'll tie that in, obviously. So I think potentially we could be seeing, as long as obviously price doesn't collapse back, into here, I think maybe, whether it comes tomorrow or maybe over the next week or maybe even on the weekend, I think we could see price dip into anywhere in and around here, maybe. Afternoon, Dave. Afternoon, Wiz. How we doing? So I think maybe we could see price dip into here. There will be big chunks of liquidity above all this run up here, and obviously above these highs. And then we do have points of interest above that too. Now, what we can do is we can go and have a look at the CME gaps to tie that in as well, because we do have open CME gaps. So something that supports potentially this thesis of higher. We do have a CME gap. So we closed, obviously this one, that's open here. We closed all the way up to just shy of 84K. But it is open to around 84,450-ish. And something that we don't see too very often is we do have quite a sizable gap that opens. So the CME shut for an hour every single day. Now, last Wednesday when it shut, we did get a gap open in the hour that it was shut. So we do have another open gap that wasn't obviously caused by a weekend. It was caused on a midweek closure when the CME shuts for an hour. So that's going all the way up to just shy of 86. So if you tie in with the levels I've been looking at, potentially, yeah, we maybe get full lick run. Maybe. And close the gaps. Who knows? Maybe we come up and then who knows what? We have to come up and reclaim here, or maybe we come back down after that. But they're just some things I'm looking at level-wise, obviously coming into the weekend and the end of the week. But Bitcoin's, you know, potentially rounding off here. So we'll see what we get given today. Obviously, this is coming on the back of yesterday's huge rally across the whole markets, given that Trump paused. So I think, did he paused any tariff hikes or anything like that for 90 days? And then I think they've left a base tariff of 10%, haven't they? A reciprocal tariff of 10% on the base. I don't know what they've done with China. I don't know whether China's huge 100% is staying on. I think it might be. Is that right? If anyone can confirm that in the chat. But obviously, huge rally across the board yesterday. I think the S&P was up about 9%. Obviously, not session-wise, but in terms of counting futures as well, it was up about 9% at one point. Obviously, got the Nasdaq as well, which was, you know, very similar pattern. And then if we go over to the Mag 7, this was insane. I think at one point, yeah, so Tesla closed 22% up. So we had Nvidia up 18%. When do you ever see this across the stock market? Absolutely insane, isn't it? Nvidia up 18%, Apple up 15%, Meta up just shy of 15, Microsoft up 10, Amazon up nearly 12, Tesla up a whopping 22.69%. Insane. It's a shame. Safe with Crypto had a nice bag of this as well. And then Google up the lowest of them all at just shy of 10. The Mag 7 ETF closed just shy of 15% up to finish an absolutely crazy day. MicroStrategy up just shy of 25%. Obviously, DJT stock up just shy of 22%. And then we did have mining stocks up very nicely as well. So a pretty crazy day across the board. Yeah. Now, what we need to look at, so let me get rid of this. Another thing we also need to take into account, bullish on Justin too, aren't we all? Do we know when these ETFs come to fruition? What ETFs are you on about, Sean? Send it back down, says Wiz. Howdy, Steve-O. I'm hoping it closes both CME gaps and finds support at 84, says Gongsy. You're up over 100, so the China towers have stayed. Okay. Soon rallied hard. Yeah, that's one of yours, isn't it? So we do have also the diagonal trend line. Now, depending on how you want to draw this is obviously up to you. I've got it drawn at one specific point. But obviously, you know, you've got it drawn a little bit different, whatever. But we obviously are still catching it. You know, yesterday's pump pretty much slammed it very close into there. And we rejected again. However, obviously, we are coming to a point of finality, you would say, on this trend line, because we obviously don't have much room left to the right-hand side before it starts really just smashing into it. That combined with obviously demand down here, and then an SR retest of the previous range high here. So really, unless we was to drop today, you know, you would say potentially over the next week, unless we just start to grind down, obviously lower, and, you know, extending the length in this trend line, into potentially into deep April, which would have to take us down to here. We are potentially just going to slam sideways into this trend line. So, potentially, whatever we do today or across the next couple of days, you would imagine either we're going to break up or maybe slam into it and then break down again. So this is coming into a key point now. Key point because there's not much time left for it to trade into this trend line without obviously breaking down or breaking up. Told you, Dave, that it was a pullback and not a crash. You did, mate. You did. Sol, XRP, they're all filed for. I normally have a date. Thing is, I don't think really we'll get much for them now. I think all them maybe get I think it would be like a 1-day pump. And I don't know. So say, it comes out today that Sol gets its ETF approved. Spot ETF. I don't think it would really do much for the price. Maybe we get like a 10% pump, maybe. But I don't think it would provide any consistent gain apart from just like a 1-day pump. I don't think anyway. But yeah, I think that's where we're up to, obviously, on Bitcoin as well. So that's what I'm looking at going into the weekend. Obviously, got Bitcoin dominance continuing to grind higher. Coming up now, not too far away from filling in this big wick that we had on the 3rd of February. As you can see, I've got it marked on here, Justin's level, 66%. So it's slowly grinding up there. Just Googled May 25th when they approve or not. But I agree, we get semi, then kick. Yeah. It will probably provide a great place to trade it back down. We've got ETH. So yeah, ETH's pretty interesting, innit? ETH's pretty interesting. You can see kind of where ETH has found its place here. This around this zone, which was, both support and resistance. We also have, obviously, trouble to the upside. We raised that up a bit to be along with that. Yeah, that looks all nice. Oh, so in terms of ETH, yeah, we are kind of wedged again. Wedged between down here, which will be demand. And then, obviously, we've not tested this yet, but obviously upside resistance. And then maybe even a drop a little bit lower if it comes. And then, worst case scenario, a drop down there, or even a drop down there will be very nasty. So there's not really much to say on ETH. Again, though, yesterday. I don't know who's been following on this trend or not. But every time ETH Bitcoin has an outperformance day, it leads to a local top. and it just reverses it. This is like a crazy, literally every time ETH Bitcoin puts in any strength, it just leads to a local top. And again, yesterday, we obviously had good strength coming in and then just banged full retracement. So alongside the ETH price. So at the moment, ETH Bitcoin is apart from just continually going to the downside, it's just providing a point where, you're looking for a potential top on the market. Justin smashed it. Yeah, I did. Yeah, printer is on. 20 days until 100 days in office for Trump. What's the positive news cycle jump into operation? That would take us right into the end of April, wouldn't it? Actually, to the day as well. To the day of the end of April. There's only 30 days in April, so that would take us right until the last day of April, moving into May. Sol. I wasn't looking at this. I didn't look at this yesterday. But there you go. There's your supply zone on Sol. Slammed right into it. Respected it and has fell off. Yeah, I wish I could say I took this short, but I didn't. But there's your supply zone drawn out. I don't know what day I drew on this. I must have looked at it one day earlier in the week. But there's your supply zone on Sol. And yeah, we came in and supply did its thing, came into the market, and obviously Solana's falling off now. So yeah, I wish I took this short, but yeah, I didn't. That would have been nice. That would have been, say you got in around here. Well, that would have been a 5% drop by now. Oh well. But yeah, Sol, moving to retrace. Obviously, it's pump candle. Don't think Bitcoin's really started. Yeah, Bitcoin's not even really started on that yet. It's a bit mad, isn't it? Because Bitcoin's not even started retracing its pump candle, really, not massively anyway. And altcoins are already getting smashed. We've got ETH down nearly 5%, Sol down nearly 5%. This thing just refuses to die, doesn't it? XRP. It just refuses to just lie down and die. So we'll see what we get. And let's flick through the watch list anyway. Let's see anything standing out to us. No, these are all down a handful of percent, aren't they? Got Ton. Ton's not really moved since I looked at it earlier in the week. I would like it to come down and retest this zone as a minimum. Maybe even come down and retest 2. But apart from that, there's nothing. Got Queso down 8%. I don't think there's nothing standing out, is there? That's moved mad. So yeah, nothing really doing in the market. Doesn't look like 30th of April, yeah. So yeah, last day of April. Do make sure you drop big thumbs up on the stream and do subscribe if you're not. Hype rallied hard. I did actually see that, yeah. Where is Hype? It's somewhere around here, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, oh. Yeah, it did. Hype's had a really good recovery on it from the bottom. From its bottom tick, it did 56%. Obviously, you're not going to catch the exact bottom. But say even if you got in, as price started to recover, up until now, you'd be up around 40%. Which is not bad at all, is it? We've got DOT now. Yeah, DOT's coming in, trying to reclaim this key zone. So this is a really key zone for DOT to reclaim in and around here. Got H-bar, obviously had some great strength this week and has came in right close to... So someone asked me to look at H-bar early in the week, didn't they? So this was the first level of interest, which we've now obviously slammed right into. Second level of interest up here. We'll go to the 4-hour chart. Yeah, I mean, I think I might keep an eye on this because I think I may be interested in shorting H-bar if we get up here. Right into there, right into supply. We'll see. But yeah, overall, strong market. Let's see what Link's been doing. So Link is trying to reclaim. Well, it looks like it did reclaim it, but is now maybe losing it again. This key level on Link. Let's get rid of these. So yeah, still within these trading ranges, Link. Bitcoin is still being very choppy, so yeah, we are lower than we did have when CPI come in. Wiz says, Hype rallied hard, had orders at 11 and 10. Very nice, mate, very nice. Were they spot orders or perps orders? If anyone is looking to trade anything on futures today, you can create a non-KYC account on BLOFIN. It is our recommendation at Stonksy. We are partnered with BLOFIN. And you can get a nice welcome bonus when you sign up. That is first link in the description. I've just put it in the chat as well. Also, with it being non-KYC, you can create an account with just an email in under a minute. So, yeah, great exchange. User interface is great. Do go and check it out. Spot, state them for an airdrop. Oh, okay, very interesting. Nice, mate, nice. Very nice indeed. Right, we've got half an hour until we get US Open. Let's see what everyone's thinking. Oh, up 32 likes. Oh, big push on them likes, guys. Well done. So 35 votes, 69% of people thinking we're going up. So that is a resounding result today so far. 69% of people thinking we're going up. Hyperliquid Whale was back. Yeah, so Hyperliquid Whale longed $100 million position size, was it? Yeah, $100 million long 2 hours before the tariff news. Yeah, insane. Insane positioning, wasn't it? Insane positioning. What a smart person, eh? Let's see what gold is doing. So gold is coming up, and was that a new all-time high on gold? It was. No, it wasn't. We're on the 5-minute chart. Of course. No, I thought it was on the hour chart at first. No, not a new all-time high on gold. However, it has pushed up very, very nicely. Be interesting to see what happens with gold, because obviously the macro trend is very, very strong. Very strong. Let's see what's happening with the DXY. Free fall in the past few hours, and we are still residing within this demand zone that we've got down here. So yeah, towards the tail end of the high time frame range that we've had on the DXY. But let me know what you'd like me to look at. Any recommendations in the chat, let me know. I think it might be good to have a full Stonksy walkthrough. Shall we have a full Stonksy walkthrough? I can give everyone a complete run through from start to finish on what Stonksy is, how it works, the benefit of signing up. H-bar, yeah, I've just covered H-bar actually. I did just cover H-bar. So I think it was you that asked me to cover it the other day, wasn't it, Thomas? So it came into first level of interest. Obviously, just pretty standard local resistance along here, which so far it's rejected off again. And then a push above there. Obviously, this was on the 4 hour, but if you're looking on the 1 hour, you could extend that up to there. I think this is probably a sticking point for the price, maybe coming into supply here, but it could easily push up. It could easily push back up. I think when we looked at the daily chart, was it? I think kind of around 25 cents was a key level to reclaim. Yeah. So yeah, that high time frame, you probably want to see a reclaim of 25 cents. I think. Unless you're drawing it a bit different, maybe you could draw. Could you draw the range low there? No, I suppose you could actually. You could draw the range low there if you wanted to. I suppose not really confluent with many closes until you come to the right hand side, but yeah. So same thoughts on H bar. Slammed into resistance 1. And still to come into number 2 yet. Pumping hard. Yeah, it's had some good news this week, hasn't it? It's had some good news this week. We going 85k. I don't disagree, really. I don't disagree. Did you close your young yesterday? Yeah, I did, yeah. I put it in the I didn't close it towards the Pico top. I think I closed it. I think it was about 80,200. So I still had room to go on it if I would have left it open. I'll tell you when I closed it, because I put it into the Stonksy Discord. Oh, 81k. 81k I closed it at. So not too far away from the local top, just over, 2k away really. But what happened was, obviously I was long, and I was explaining why on stream. And then I went for a walk and I left my phone at home because I just thought I'll just leave my phone at home, have a bit of, obviously just a bit of like internet detox. Went for a walk, obviously in the sun and stuff. And then I came back, looked at my phone, and there was just like trading view alert, trading view alert, trade. I was like, whoa, what's going on? Looked at the chart, and obviously Bitcoin had just blew up. So I just jumped straight onto BLOFIN and just closed it out. I wasn't even properly aware of what had happened at that point. But I just closed it out because it was close to full take profit anyway. And yeah, plenty, nice profit on the table. So closed it out. But yeah, I think we will have a run through of what Stonksy is. Now, let me know in the chat. So for anyone watching obviously on YouTube or over on X, drop me some comments into the chat on what you would like to ask about Stonksy. Let me know in the chat what you'd like to ask about Stonksy, and we will we'll get some Q&A going. So any questions, preferably obviously the people that don't have Stonksy that want to know more about it, or even if you are a Stonksy user and you want to know more, let me know. We'll give you a couple minutes to get some comments in. Justin says, I'm looking to long Bitcoin from 79,900, so down a bit ideally. So yeah, that would take it. That would take it down a bit, wouldn't it? That would take it down, not even really too much. But yeah, anyone got any questions about Stonksy? We'll do a quick, we'll do a Q&A live on stream. I'll also do a full explainer of what it is. Right, let's get cracking. Let's get cracking. Right. Okay, so we are ready to rock. We are ready to rock. Let's have a full little cover on Stonksy. Justin said, so Gongsy, can you go over the bullish and bearish arrows again, please? And the best time frames to use it with. Yeah, I can do that. Dave just sent you the Bitcoin zone I'm looking at on Telegram. So, okay, so you're looking for a retest of the candle closes. Yeah, okay. So, for those of you, obviously, that are wondering what Justin's looking at, I think on the 4 hour. Yeah, a retest of here-ish. Obviously, going back to this bit, but around here. For anyone wondering what Justin's looking for. So, right. Let's see. How much power did it take to... Right, so yeah, let's cover exactly what Stonksy is. I'll obviously answer these questions in the chat as well. And yeah, let's go for it. What I'll do is I'll just pull this up because this is very handy to use as well. If you are, wondering if you can read more about Stonksy, obviously there's plenty of videos on the YouTube channel, but we do also have a medium that you can find on the website here, which explains everything and gives a good explanation of what everything does. So yeah, we'll find nice information on here if I do need any. So first question is from Stonksy. Can you go over the bullish and bearish arrows, please, and the best time frames to use it with? Yes, so bullish, bearish arrows, they're just additional. Obviously, we have the background color change, which highlights obviously short and long opportunities in the market. The arrows are additional confirmations that Stonksy looks for. Now, something that I have been looking at is, so to cover what settings I use for these, I'll show you. Let me go on the settings. So I use sensitivity 8, confirmation period 1. Now, something that I have been looking at is just how well the arrows perform on the 5-minute, and we can pull up the 6-minute chart as well. I'll pull up the 6-minute chart in a second. When you get a background color change on the 5-minute, when you get an arrow confirmation soon after, obviously of the same color, the move seems to be extremely, extremely well and trade very, very nicely into obviously whatever direction, whether it's going up or down. Just scrolling back so you can get an idea of what I'm looking at. But as you can see for yourself, most of the time, obviously, when we get these come in, not going to hit every time, of course, but what you're looking for is background color change and then arrow soon after, especially on these big volatile moves. As you'll have seen, big volatile moves, it catches them very nicely. You will get periods of chop like this, but again, volatile move caught perfectly with the double confirmation. Big volatile move to the upside, caught perfectly with a double confirmation. So that is something that I've been looking at. Again, Dean has said the 6-minute chart is very nice for it as well with the same settings. So as you can see here again, just this week here, we did go up a little bit, but then dropped all the way down. Here again, got the confirmation in. We did get a little drop there. That was where, what was that? Oh no, I don't know. That was probably just normal price action, but oh no, that was a bit of news that I can't remember what it was. What was that bit of news there? I think that was the tariffs that China put on the US, I think. But anyway, yeah, drop down and then obviously a big pump up after the double confirmation. Again, here, another one there, another one here, another one here. So yeah, 5-6 minute charts seem to be working absolutely lovely for both of them. So that's something that I really like to use the arrows for, is confirmation alongside the background color change. Would I ignore the print without a background change? It just depends. It just depends. I mean, I've been solely looking at I like the double confirmation, so you could ignore it if you wanted to, yeah. If you wanted to. But yeah, I've been finding the double confirmation really nice. Adam Russell says, how much pound would it take in the bot to pay for itself going by history? So I can actually give you some handy information on this. So for the high frequency bot, I can tell you that it did a total P&L gain after 1 month of testing of plus 30.84% based on a spot trading strategy. Max drawdown was 5.81% across 28 trades with a profit factor of 2.715. So what does that mean? That meant that for every $1 that the bot lost, it earns 2.71. So if you want to pull that out as a net gain of 1.71. So that is the high frequency one. Now we do have a low frequency one. So if you were looking at that, Obviously, if you were just using the smart settings as well and wasn't altering the leverage or margin in each trade in the traditional settings, like a lot of people do, if you're just using the smart settings, you could expect to see, obviously, a gain of like this month over month. Now, low frequency bot is getting changed up soon, so there's not really much point in covering this, I don't think. Dean's working on changing this strategy up for something else. But this had a 10% gain over 1 month for testing when factoring in 3x leverage. So roughly 1% per day, approximately 30% over the month. But this takes a lot less trades. So yeah, the high frequency bot, more trades. So yeah, that's your answer to that question. Obviously, if you were to, if you wanted to put, whatever in, obviously, each month isn't going to be exactly the same because obviously price action differs month over month, doesn't it? But in terms of looking at the high frequency one mainly, because like I mentioned, the low frequency one is going to get changed up. Yeah, roughly 30% ROI per month on the testing. And you can find this if you want to have a read of this, Adam. Yeah, just click on the Stonksy website, go on the Medium, and yeah, you can have a full read through this on the high frequency one. Any other strategies, or if we change up when we change up the low frequency bot, we'll have another article posted on that as well, so you can always have a read up and catch up. And SMFC, sometimes he's around in the comment section of the streams, but when you join Stonksy, he's always around to answer any questions and stuff in the Discord regarding the bots. So yeah, no worries. Big thank you for the questions. So I'll just have a little run through on exactly what Stonksy is. So Stonksy is obviously made up of several working parts. The indicator itself is made up of the red and green background, which show long and short opportunities in the market. Obviously tied in with the background, the arrow confirmations that we've just covered. We also do have automated SR lines. Now all this can be sorted in the settings. So you've got minor SR and major SR. These are obviously different. So you see different, obviously thickness on the lines, different opacities. These all mean different things. And you can obviously customize them if you want to and turn some off or turn some on. If you didn't want, say, the minor levels on and you just wanted the major, you can turn them off and just have the major ones on. You can do all sorts. Also, we do have high time frame to monitor. Alternative time frame to monitor. So this works with providing a different outlook on the background color change, but for something else. So I'd say go to the 1 hour chart. So we're looking at the 1 hour chart. We'll then go on the settings. I'll turn this on and we'll choose the 5 minute. You can then see, obviously, you can adjust the sensitivity of it. But you can then see what the background is doing on a different time frame than you're viewing. So we're viewing the 1 hour, but it's showing what the Stonksy is doing on the 5 minute chart. So that's very handy to have as well. And then obviously we do have the bullish and bearish hours. Like I covered at first, I personally use sensitivity 8, confirmation period 1. You can turn them on and off as well if you want to. But yeah, it's fully customized. Obviously, the other component to Stonksy is the oscillator. Now, this will be getting a rework as well into an upgrade. So we'll be upgrading the oscillator at some point. It is on the development roadmap. But again, obviously shows momentum in the market. You can use it to look at, potentially where momentum is subsiding and maybe when things are leveling off to the upside or downside, or, strength and momentum. Obviously, when this started curving up, we started getting curvature on the oscillator as Bitcoin started to recover a bit, and then bang, obviously to the upside. Same for the downside. So yeah, that's the oscillator. But yeah, like I said, we're getting a nice rework and getting a nice upgrade. So that's obviously everything for the indicator itself. So that's obviously ran through TradingView. Apart from that, obviously you get full access to the Discord server while you're a Stonksy member. So yeah, it's a private Discord only for Stonksy users. And then, of course, you get whitelisted for the trading bots. So currently we have 2 on BLOFIN. We do have free reign to run as many bots as we want. Currently we're running 2. And we can change up the strategies like we have. But yeah, currently running a high frequency one and a low frequency one. And yeah, we can, we could have more. We could have 3, 4, 5 running at one time. We can change them up so you don't have to go on and do anything yourself. We can take one strategy off one and put a different one on. But where do we run them? So we run them on BLOFIN and we run them through copy trade. So it's a closed copy trade like the Discord. It's only for users. So we take your BLOFIN user ID number and whitelist you. And then obviously then you get access and then you go through the copy trade on BLOFIN and you follow it. Obviously put a certain amount in. You can either use the smart settings, which takes a dedicated portion of the margin you put in the copy trade account and then applies 3x leverage. Or you can use traditional, so you can put however much USDT you want filling in each order and change up the leverage as well. The choice is yours. But yeah, we run them through copy trading, so it's completely autonomous. The bot will communicate to the BLOFIN copy trade, and then that will automatically open and close trades on behalf of users. Once you've got it set up, you don't have to do anything. And that is all part of the package. Now, with that, it's included in all. So it doesn't matter whether you use, you're on a monthly, annual, or lifetime. You get access to everything. And you also get it with the bot 20 discount as well. So if you do want to come and try Stonksy, if you've been looking, or maybe this is your first time watching and you want to give it a go, you can get 20% off your first month from being a first-time user. So that link is in the description alongside the discount code. Yeah, just apply it at checkout and that'll take 20% off this month for your first month. And there is no contract or, plan or anything. It is just on a month-by-month rolling basis. Can also pay in crypto. Just drop us an email. And that is pretty much Stonksy in a nutshell. For anyone that wasn't, aware of what it was, or maybe it's your first time here, hopefully that gave you a nice little intro and I told you exactly what it is. Hello, Choopsy. How we doing? Great to see you. So we have 10 minutes until US Open. Let's see what the poll's saying. What is the poll saying? 47 votes, 64% of people think we're going up. So let's end that poll now, lock it in. Big thank you to everyone that voted on the poll. As you can see here, we're getting a nice little compressed range on Bitcoin. Sideways action for the last couple of hours. Please, it's Chopsy. Okay, Chopsy. I do apologise, Chopsy. Right, get a quick drink, and then we'll get set up on the dual charts for the Open. We are pumping back to the upside, though, after crashing back down post CPI. So for those of you that missed it, we did get CPI coming cool. It was forecast at 2.6 and it came in at 2.4. We did obviously pump up, as you can see on screen, but then we dropped back down. So we'll see obviously what we get on US Open, but we are approaching round about the levels that we was as CPI come out. But yeah, should be a nice hope. Well, we'll see what. I mean, I don't think anything is going to top yesterday, is it? In terms of volatility and direction for the market. But we'll see. Not a bad bit of volatility over the past hour or so. Right. Let's get cracking. Okay, so I'll tell you what, actually, If anyone has got any ideas or anything they want me to look at, do let me know in the chat too. But let's have a look to see if we've got any decent news. So, have we got anything notable? Tokenized gold hits 1 billion. First time since 2023 US banking crisis. Okay. So tokenized gold, is that like PAX-G and stuff? Or... yeah, PAX-G, yeah. PAX-G is available on Swissborg, I think. It used to be anyway. Anything else? Anything interesting? I don't think there's nothing too much, is there? I don't think. Oh, Bybit's recovered market share to 7%. I wonder what it was before. It reached a low of 4% market share. Back to 7. Yeah, nothing too interesting, is there? Nothing too interesting news-wise. Let's just get the good old charts ready. And yeah, if you want to tell me what you'd like me to look at after we get US Open, then we can go and have a look at some altcoins or whatever it is you guys want. Just let me know in the chat. But do please drop a like if you've just joined or recently joined and haven't. Jupiter, please. I'm heavily in the red. Yeah, Jupiter's one that we've looked at on stream recently, and the problem with Jupiter is that it's in price discovery to the downside. So there's pretty much like no floor on it for now. Anyway, we'll go on and cover it, and obviously look at a place where you'll enter like a safe zone, if you will, again. But yeah, the problem is when things start trading in price discovery to the downside, and there's no floor, there's no support and stuff. It is a case of, you think the bottom's in, and then maybe you find yourself another 20-30% down. It can be very harsh, but I mean, it'll probably just tie in with Solana, won't it, as turning around. But we do have 4 minutes to go until US Open. So, yeah, a little bit of a breather if you want to get a drink or whatever. You've got time. Just don't go anywhere. Right. 40 people watching, yeah. Nice viewership today. Big thank you to everyone who's joined. Hope everyone's having a great day. Hope you're having a great week. Right, little push down coming into the open. We are just over 2 minutes. Well, 2 minutes away now. Yeah, so Jupiter will be first on the list, mate, after we get US Open. After we've had a couple minutes of US Open price action, I will head straight onto Jupiter for you. But we are dropping back to the downside after a little bounce over the past 10-15 minutes or so. On open, first of them. So Pellin, to be fair, Pellin, you're pretty much lined up with Justin then. Justin is looking for 79,900. So you're pretty much lined up with Justin on that. Right, just under a minute to go, and then everyone can hear the glorious bell ring. Everyone can hear the glorious bell ring. I do wonder what we're going to get today. After a day like yesterday as well, you've got to wonder, haven't you? Is it going to be maybe just a bit flat? Because we've had such volatility recently. Like, when was the last time that we just had, like, a little bit of a boring period in the market? I can't remember, can you? Like, it seems like, obviously, minus, you know, weekend days. But it feels like near enough every day we've had, like, some really nice moves in the market. Right, there we go. There we go. We are open. I do want to go and check that out as well. When was the last time we had just like a good few days of just sideways chop? Because I bet it was a while ago. Let's see how the Mag 7 opened. So we've got Nvidia down 4%, Apple down 4.5%, Meta down a little bit, Microsoft down just over 2%, Amazon down just under 3%, Tesla down 4.5%, and Google down just under 1%. So a red open, obviously, for SPX and red open for the Mag 7. And we have a boring open too. Seems that way. We have only been open for 1 minute, like. We have only been open for 1 minute. But you've got to wonder, haven't you, after a move like yesterday, do we get some downside? You wouldn't surprise you, would it? Because, you know, the upside move yesterday was so quick and so strong. I mean, at one point yesterday, well, as the stocks closed, as the stock market closed, Tesla's closed like 22% up, Nvidia was up about 17%. A few of them were up, you know, in the late teens in terms of the Mag 7 and stuff. When do we ever see that? It's just a crazy day. It's like pretty much like crypto trading, in it now. It's like the market is moving that much and that volatile that we're seeing like kind of crypto numbers over in the stock market. Now, you do get that on some things, you know, like that NMAX and stuff that we had last week. But, I mean, to get them on like the Mag 7 and consistently just shows the level of famous last words. Yeah, famous last words. We are dropping, so wouldn't surprise you, especially, you know, after a day like yesterday. So this is pretty much in and around here is where Justin's looking alongside. I think it was you, Pellin, as well, was it? But we'll give a few little minutes of watching the open price action, and then we'll move on to, we'll look at Jupiter for you, Andy. Anyone else got any altcoins you want me to look at, drop them in the chat. If you have just joined, because I've seen the viewers has gone up, do make sure you drop a like on the stream. If you aren't subscribed, do subscribe. And yeah, if you're looking for anywhere to trade, BLOFIN links in the description. Get yourself some nice welcome bonuses, non-KYC too. Right, we are going back to the upside a little bit. Tutorial tut. Okay, yeah, we can look at whatever you guys want. Let's go and have a look. So we'll go and have a look at Jupiter first. Now I think we are right. Where are we? It's in and around here somewhere. There, here it is. Right. So Jupiter. Let me just scale out a little bit. Let me remove all this for us. Right. So pretty much Jupiter, we want to focus on the high time frame because that's really what's going to get it out of trouble. Now, as you can see, if we look all the way to the left when it launched, we had the launch, then we had a little bit of a sell-off, and then this is kind of where it found, obviously demand come in and settle before, going on its rally. Now, if you take, obviously, where it found settlement, then we deviated below and then came, you can see all the wicks into this level that held. If we fast forward, we obviously then built, we got the high here, and then we built like a macro range. As you can see, price traded for many, best part of a year in and around this range to the upside and the downside. Split into two, really. There was times when this is the midpoint of this range, obviously where it traded pretty consistently between the midpoint and then support before then entering, obviously, the upside again. And then deviated, obviously, to the upside and downside a little bit. So this was the macro range on Jupiter. Once it lost it, obviously that was a big cause for concern. Obviously we started to lose it here and then underside rejected and then sold off. Price then came in and retested around these lows here, which initially held, obviously came in, tested, got a decent bounce and then came through and then dropped below and then has obviously rejected off this level. So it's pretty clear that this level is key, this 48 cents level. So, to be more safe on Jupiter, we'd want to see a close above 48 cents. Now, the problem when something doesn't have any price action, so as you can see to the left, all we've got to go off is this launch candle. That's all we've got to go off is this launch candle. So, when price is sinking, there's no support. Until it starts to build it itself, there's no support. There's nothing for it to trade into. We could go, okay, well, previously, price found support at 22 cents. We'll wait for it to drift down there and then step in. There's nothing like that. So price has to do one or two things. It either has to reclaim this level and then, it's put in potentially a low. And then it's reclaimed a key level. And then, you can maybe start targeting it up towards here. And then obviously an underside retest of this range again with your invalidation of it dropping back below. Or price has to drift to a point, maybe this is the point or wherever, where it starts to build an accumulation range of between wherever, whether it's here or if we get another sell-off and it builds it between 20 cents and 25 cents, wherever. But an accumulation range where it's obvious that when it's retesting the lows, there's demand coming in as it gets to the lows, and then you want to do something like that because then you can say, okay, well, it's pretty clear that it's built support down here, so then you want to see it eventually, after accumulation, start to take off then, and then start to then head towards reclaiming some key levels. So it's difficult to kind of say where dupe is. It can, obviously, does it have the potential to drop more? Of course it does. If we see downside on Bitcoin, we could find ourselves down towards 25 cents, potentially, whatever it may be. We just don't know because there's nothing to say where it maybe stops. But one or two things, reclaim this level or come in for some accumulation somewhere and bottom. So they're the two things that I'm thinking of. We are dropping on Bitcoin, aren't we? We are dropping on Bitcoin. Dropping on the S&P as well. So we'll have a little look at Bitcoin and then we'll go over. We'll go over. So we've got TUT. James has put TUT in. Okay, we can have a look at TUT. But yeah, we are drifting on Bitcoin now, aren't we? ETH down 6% now. So ETH's falling through the floor again. I mean, really, when you look at altcoins and you got ETH down 6%, you got Sol down over 5% and stuff like that. You'd really need Bitcoin to bounce down here because by the time Bitcoin gets back down here, these alts are going to be down 7, 8, maybe 9%. Never mind if Bitcoin does a full retrace all the way back towards 78k, mid 77s if it falls through here. But we're not too far away. Obviously, the S&P is dumping down. So, I mean, this was a potential likely case because we pumped so hard so fast. Anyone who wants to get out of the market, so anyone who is maybe hedging themselves, or maybe funds, or just individuals themselves, maybe that got scared on the way down and panicking down here. When you get a pump like this, so you get people down here panicking, they'll be like, oh, I wish I should have sold or I should have de-risked or whatever. When you get a pump like this, you pretty much just give people an exit, don't you? So for anyone now wants to de-risk, they can de-risk into this move and obviously not take a big of a hit as they did down here. So probably see some selling off, you would imagine. Just depends into where. Oh, didn't realise didn't have my camera on. Is Bitcoin at my entry yet? No, not yet, mate. It's about $1,000 away. We might fill the fair value gap for Bitcoin. Dave, look at 50% of the H4 fair value gap on Bitcoin. Does that line up with my point of interest? Let's see. Yeah, it does, to be fair, mate. Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. I think we are going to probably get a lot, we're going to get people de-risking or, just to clear out, in terms of Bitcoin, a clear out of longs. You've got to come down and liquidate some longs, haven't you? People will sell into this, whatever. But you have to come down and retest some level lower and fill in some of the gap and take out some longs. Right, let's look at this TUT. Whatever this TUT is. Nice amount of likes today. Big thank you to everyone who's dropped a like. I appreciate that. That is splendid. Right. Tut. Tutorial. Is this another one that's been delisted from Binance? James Samuels, who asked me to look at Tut. Is this another one that's been delisted from Binance or not? I don't know. I don't know whether that... I mean, that to me looks very similar to the patterns we've been seeing of coins getting delisted off Binance. Is this in one of them brackets, or is this just a routine 20% market sell-off? Let me know in the chat. I'm interested to know. Because them delistings have been causing absolute havoc, haven't they? Oh, oh, no, surely not. Surely it's not been delisted already. It's only just listed, actually. Never mind. I should have checked. Maybe I should have checked that before. But I imagine it's not been delisted, surely, because it's only just listed. So let me go and see if there's any chart with more data on. Okay, so MEXC has a little bit more data. There's not loads, like, is there? Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what to say about this. I don't know. I don't know where you would start. I mean, you've got, some clear kind of region here, haven't you? Where prices found support, drop below, retested it again here. So to the downside, kind of like this 2 cents region-ish. And then to the upside, it's come in, fill something like that. I mean, this is where it used... This is what it used as support previously. Also where supply came into the market, as you can see here. Bang. So this is where supply came in. So you'd probably want to see it reclaim here. I don't really know. I don't know what this is or what, but I imagine maybe something like that. It looks pretty simple. Retest down here, maybe provide some good risk reward if you're looking to get in it. Obviously not financial advice. And then up here, maybe rejection or reclaim. And that's really it, I think, for that. Let's go see what Bitcoin looking like it's dropping. Dropped a bit more. Slowly coming towards... Haha, not sure. We just wait into the liquidation heat map levels. Says Andy. So pretty much we just we liquidated these lows pretty much, didn't we? Liquidated these lows. We have come back below the Monday high now. At the 200 EMA on the 1 hour. What is the S&P doing? It's interesting though, isn't it? Because we're looking at Bitcoin and stuff like that. But I mean, really, this is like as well a huge driver of whatever we get next on Bitcoin, isn't it? If this holds up, then maybe we've got some Bitcoin room. If this starts to retrace back into here, it's going to pull Bitcoin down with it. But as it stands, yeah, I mean, we've come and took out all these lows from today. Liquidated some of, obviously, the wicks on this build up. I'm going to have to shoot to the toilet really quickly, actually. I'll be back in literally 1 second. Hang on. I'll leave you with the chart. I won't be a minute. Right, we are back. Howdy, howdy. Right, let's carry on with the charts. Thank you for your patience, everyone. So we've had a little pump back up on Bitcoin, haven't we? Back to the upside a little bit. 3 p.m. news tomorrow could be volume. 3 p.m. news tomorrow. I know we've got PPI tomorrow. Hang on. I know we've got PPI tomorrow. What have we got coming in at 3 p.m. tomorrow? I think PPI is 1:30, same as today, isn't it? Let's see. Let me present again. So if we go this week, blah, blah, blah. What have we got coming in 3 p.m. tomorrow? We've got Michigan consumer sentiment, and then we've got consumer inflation expectation. Okay, we also do have PPI as well, 1:30 an hour before open as well, same time as CPI came in today. Should we have a lot? We don't. I don't think. Yeah. I don't think we shouldn't have much coming into the end of the month. I don't think, because obviously there's no Fed meeting. Should we have a look this month, and we will just apply medium and high, shall we? Now, you know what, we'll just apply, let's apply high. So next week we've got retail sales on Wednesday, and that's it for next week. Then the week after we've just got S&P Global Manufacturing and Services, and that's it for that week. And then Wednesday the 30th of April we have PCE. And we do have actually as well right on the last day of this month, we do have the first Q1 GDP score. So for anyone who doesn't know, GDP, it gets 3 releases. So obviously the first one is the big one and the main one, and then it gets 2 recalculations after that, which don't really mean anything. But the first one, so obviously this is for Q1, that's just finished, so this will be the first release. Then when you see it again, so you'll see it again, you know, in May and then in June. But there'll be recalculations and don't really mean anything. But obviously GDP for Q1 is for the first one that's released is the most important one. So yeah, we've not really got much coming into the end of the month now. It's looking obviously a bit dry. There's no Fed meeting slammed in, and we've all pretty much already had all of some of the exciting stuff. But yeah, hopefully some volume comes in tomorrow then. I was going to look at, so when was the last time we had kind of like a proper lull on Bitcoin? Because it's been a while, hasn't it? I mean, to be fair, actually, it doesn't feel like it though, does it? So for anyone, do you remember when this happened? This was horrific, wasn't it? So this, you know, we obviously had big candles, and then here to there was 18 days, so just shy of 3 weeks. That was horrific. That was such a boring time in Bitcoin and crypto. If everyone remembers that point, that was really boring. We haven't really had... Oh, what's happened to my keyboard? It ran out. I think my keyboard's ran out of power. We haven't really had anything, you know, in terms of that boringness. Like, you know, obviously we've had big volatility come in continuously, you know, nice grind up on here as well. Few days of settlement here, you know, that wasn't the most exciting, but I wouldn't say it was boring. And then obviously big volatility come in here. So we've not really had anything like this. You know, at some point in the future, we'll probably get, you know, 2-3 weeks of just boring choppiness like this. But at the moment, enjoy the volatility and stuff. So it's been a while. It's been probably about a good 2 months since we got some proper boring sideways PA on Bitcoin. But we're now rejecting off the Monday high. We got back below and rejected on these 2 5-minute candles here. So it's going to be interesting. Anyone got anything they want me to look at? Would anyone like me to look at anything specific? It's looking like we might, even with Bitcoin coming down to there, it's looking like the weakness on ETH might even drag it down towards the low 1500s, maybe. The strength on XRP is ridiculous, isn't it? The strength on XRP is just ridiculous. I did actually start scaling into a swing short this morning, and then I've closed it at break even because I want to see what develops over the weekend. But yeah, please do let me know. Ton is one. Obviously, I've mentioned that I'm interested in. Ton obviously had a key SR retest here. I'd be interested in seeing this again. It's looking like it's steadily making its way there. But I'd also be interested in seeing around $2. Again, you can see obviously key SR around that level. So we will see. Are we selling off on the S&P? Yes, we are. So we're starting to push back into the run-up on the S&P now, which is obviously directing over to Bitcoin. Falling off. Slow movement down. Let's see what the Mag 7's doing. So some losses are intensifying. Tesla's now down nearly 6.5%. Nvidia's now down nearly 6%. Apple's down 3%. So that's actually... that came up, didn't it? Yeah, after open. The one that's really has been the least volatile out of all of them is Google. It had the least gains yesterday and has got the least losses today. But yeah, I mean, over the weekend, obviously we'll see what Stonksy comes in with. But I am very interested to get a push up. If we can get it, I don't know. Obviously, if we come down and bounce or whatever. But I would love a push up, liquidate above here. Maybe even come and obviously retest this area here, which will close the CME gap as well. That's above. And then potentially maybe look to trade it back down into next week, while we're still just residing within this big range here. We'll see what's offered, though. We will see what's offered, won't we? But at the moment, Stonksy's got another nice call from one of these double confirmations. We're getting closer to your level, Justin. Let's go back. What chart have I got it on? Is it this one? Yeah. We're getting closer to your level. Right, what would people like me to look at? Let me know in the chat. Or just let me know anything. If you've got any questions or, you know, anything burning on your mind, let me know in the chat. Willing to look or, you know, answer whatever you guys want. Doesn't have to be, you know, specifically looking at an altcoin. Let me know in the chat what you guys would like me to cover or discuss. Ondo says Andy. Okay. Wait. Is that who I think it is as your... No, surely not. Ondo. Okay. Okay, yeah, so Ondo did quite nicely, actually. Obviously, this box was something that we highlighted when we looked at Ondo in the past. And yeah, obviously came down, touched in it these times here. But then we did get a full, obviously, drop down. We even come and kind of tested here, didn't we? Which was also, you know, kind of key SR as well, as you can see here, all along there. Did even get a little dip into there. But, I mean, it held, obviously, this box on the daily. Come down and wicked into here. So, very nice on Ondo. Very nice. From the upside, I've had this outlined for a while, so I think it still stands. Obviously, you can see the confluence behind this level around the closes. I mean, you could maybe even, you know, maybe you could... There's probably an argument maybe for closing it, or if you wanted something a bit more variety, you know, you could use a little box if you wanted to. If you wanted to use a box, something like that. But I mean, for an upside bounce, obviously here's capped momentum. So I think we need, yeah, you'd want to kind of see it clear, like the 96 cent level and close above again. And then that kind of reopens extension up towards about 118, I would imagine. H-bar, someone's asked me to look at H-bar. Yeah, so I looked at H-bar before. Looked at H-bar earlier in the week. So we had highlighted these zones here. So H-bar's come into one. So obviously coming in right into local resistance here. Again, you know, came in, slammed in. Currently yet to get above it. If it gets above it, I think next area up is kind of around this 19 to 19.5 cent region. And that's my thoughts on H-bar, yeah. So needs to clear this bit. Needs to get above and hold above. And then head up towards this area here. And that's it on H-bar. Pretty simple as that for looking for upside. If you're looking for downside, I mean, we are at resistance now. So you could maybe have a stab at it if you wanted to. Not financial advice. But you could potentially, yeah, as long as you got, you know, your risk outlined and stuff like that. But I think this is probably maybe where price comes into supply. That kind of, yeah, I've got a feeling that it was someone. I don't know if I'm not saying the name. CVIX was still hovering around 36s. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it, when you look at the S&P 500? It's traded like a proper like altcoin, hasn't it, recently? Like, Trump has actually turned the stock market into crypto. Like, the moves are wild. I mean, this was a pretty boring period, wasn't it, kind of? Choppy. Obviously, this push up and then this drop down was fun, but, you know, all this and then, yeah. But, I mean, we've pretty much highlighted we've got kind of a diagonal point where demand's coming in here. Obviously, price rising alongside here. So, I mean, you wouldn't really want to see it go all the way back down here. But, you know, short term, if it does, maybe we've got something in this, maybe not. But yeah, Stonksy's killing it again. Stonksy's been doing absolutely superbly in the market. So let's go and see some recent ones I've posted out on the Twitter. Let's see. So I posted one today. So this was it on ETH. Oh, this was it on ETH yesterday. Really, really nice. Obviously, this will have extended now. So we'll look at the 5 minute on ETH. I imagine it should have extended to so the downside is now more downside than when I posted it today. But again, really nice call. Bang, 5 minute, bang. Again, this is one with the double confirmation coming off again very nicely. Let's see what else have we been posting. Any others posted recently? So obviously, the Bitcoin on a super low time frame yesterday. But yeah, do make sure you come and follow it. This is on Tau the other day. Do make sure you come and follow the Stonksy Twitter if you aren't. And vice versa, if you're watching on X, do make sure you hop over to the YouTube and subscribe. I'm getting close to a good figure. Getting close to that 2K mark. But I mean, yes, it's not the most exciting day, but not the worst. We've had a bit of volatility, haven't we? With CPI coming in, US Open's got a push down. We've had a bit of volatility come in. Not the best, not the worst. Go and have a look on the daily at some of these altcoins. Yeah, so Sui was kind of approaching a nice level, wasn't it? It was kind of getting down towards, I mean, to be fair, that level there was looking all right. That wasn't looking too bad. Yeah, I mean, something like Sui, it just keeps bleeding, doesn't it? You got Litecoin back down towards its summer lows. Got Tom. We covered Tom before. Dots again. I think we looked at Dot yesterday, but again, you know, kind of got this high time frame region here. That's pretty key for the price where demand comes in. You can see each time it comes in here, it doesn't spend too long in there until it bounces. But we have broke below that now, and it's looking like we're getting underside rejection from up here. So as you can see, price has now attacked it from the underside and has sold off inside this range here. So, I mean, it's pretty imperative when you look at something like that. I mean, what a really nice call that is by Stonksy as well on the daily. But it's really imperative by Dot that it kind of reclaims. You know, you want to see it reclaim like 380-ish for a daily close, ideally. Otherwise, the only really thing that we can look at is this zone here. Now, I don't know exactly how much weight this will have a bearing on it, but that is the only other thing that we could look at. Maybe it will provide a bounce, but apart from that, let me know. Is this? I mean, I could just go and look, couldn't I? I want to go and have a look to see if that was actually when DOT launched. Like, did it launch on everything on day one, or is there? So say, let's look at something like KuCoin. Is there a chart that's got more data than that? No, so that looks about right, yeah. Yeah, so that looks... Yeah, it looks about right, what we were looking at there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with DOT. We got any DOT holders in the chat? What are your thoughts on DOT? OM is just like the never-ending beast, isn't it? I had a little dip out of this range here, come and retested this area, as we saw here. But yeah, still, you know, within this trading range still. So, again, break above or break below, but this is one where it just gets absolutely nutty, doesn't it? Just completely uncorrelated to the market. Like, completely uncorrelated to the market. Unless the market is going up, it seems. If the market's going up, this seems to go up alongside it. If the market's going down, this seems to just hold still. Uniswap. Pushing down. Let's have a look at something like Uniswap. So we're kind of like not there just yet, are we, in terms of approaching the macro lows? We've got kind of like, to be fair, we'd probably just want to retest like kind of this area. Yeah, it looks like it's got like another 20%, to be fair. Obviously, we did get there a little bit on this wick, but still not at the lows on Uniswap, but it is getting there. Ondo, we looked at before. Nia. I mean, how much interest does someone have trading Nia? I don't know. Aave is an interesting one. Coming all the way back down now. But it looks like it's trying to hold. It looks like it's trying to hold this for a support, doesn't it? That's what it looks like. Again, if we drop back below here, maybe we're targeting like back down into double digits, which would be a huge fall off. I mean, what has Aave already done? It's already done a 65% retrace. MNT, not a whole lot. It's apt. Look at apt. Polygon, obviously formerly Matic, but we don't have the Matic levels. We don't have the Matic levels, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, Inge is all the way back down towards. I mean, Inge is back within this kind of region that I was looking at, which has held so far. But yeah, I don't know. Stuff like this as well is, I don't know, like things like Inge and stuff that are kind of, when did this launch? Oh, so to be fair, this is like a 2-cycle coin, this, isn't it? But stuff like this, I just have no idea on like the vesting and stuff like that. Like, when are you expecting like coins to be released into circulation and stuff? This chart is another wild one. This is kind of like in the same situation as like Jupiter, wasn't it, in terms of just price discovery to the downside? But this has got huge back in this world coin. Say, Justin, I don't know if you've looked or if you're still in the chat, mate, but Say's come slammed right into your level this week. I think around 13 cents was your level, wasn't it? If you're still in anyway. Say's come right in there and filled it. You got Velo. So it looks like Velo did this drop, that whatever we were looking at. Yeah. So, I mean, Pi and Queso had great launches, didn't they? But then have completely sold off. Or something like ZRO. E-Gold is a pretty crazy one as well. So yeah, there's not really too much to say on a lot of the market, is there? But I mean, yeah, today obviously we've had CPI release, which came in below expectations, 2.4. Forecast was 2.6. We did get a pump up on Bitcoin, but then, you know, retraced it into the US Open. And then we have dropped down a little bit on US Open, but nothing too major, nothing too volatile in the first hour, first 45 minutes or so, 50 minutes. The S&P has been, just kind of doing the same thing, just slowly like chugging away to the downside. Apart from that, we've got altcoin weakness against Bitcoin, as we have had for a while. ETH down over 6%. Sol down just around about 5%. And then the rest kind of following, you know, a good handful of percent. A few outliers up a little bit, you know, a couple of digits there. But overall, the market is red today. We also have had a sell-off on the Mag 7 following yesterday's huge rallies. All of them down. Tesla down the most at 6.5, followed closely by Nvidia. But yeah, big pump up yesterday, and we're now getting a little bit of a retrace across the market, both in crypto and in TradFi. So we'll see what develops. I mean, the big move obviously come deep into the US session yesterday, didn't it? So there is still plenty of time. And we are still only on Thursday, so we do have tomorrow's trading day to go as well. But are we going to maybe get a bit of a cool off? Depends. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? But if you are looking to trade anything today, do please make sure that you click the first link in the description or the one I'm putting in the chat now. Sign up to BLOFIN. It is the best non-KYC exchange out there, so do sign up. And yeah, you get yourself some nice welcome bonuses as well. And for those of you that missed the coverage of me running through what Stonksy was, if this is your first time viewing the Stonksy stream, or if you've been looking to get Stonksy, you obviously do get full indicator access, Discord access, and whitelisted for the trading bot on BLOFIN. You can click that second link in the description and use the code BOT20. So that's pinned to the chat and in the description as well. And you get 20% off your first month. So come and try us for a month. There's no ties, there's no contract or anything. Come and try us for a month. Get 20% off. Takes it down to 116 quid. And yeah, you can do that on the website, or drop us an email if you want to pay in crypto while receiving the discount. It'd be great to see you over there. But I think that's all for me today, really. Big thank you to those of you that have joined. I appreciate each and every one of you that are coming. Gonksy says, any thoughts on TON short term? Yes, I'll cover TON quickly before I go. TON. So we did have a big pump up on TON. So pretty much this kind of like 250 area is key SR. So as you can see here, it was resistance all along here, resistance all along here. We then broke above and then claimed it as support. We then got like a perfect retest on it down here, and then obviously rallied. We come and liquidated all these highs, liquidated all these wicks, ran up here, liquidate, and then we've sold off. So I think the way that TON's looking is looking like it potentially wants to come and retest this area. If we hold there, maybe it puts in like a double bottom, or gets another nice bounce. If we do drop below, I am watching around $2 as a potential next drop point for TON. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's looking, obviously it was strong in the market and then it's had a big sell-off. Completely, this was a news pump, so completely retrace that now. But yeah, potentially maybe coming back in for another test of this 250 region. So that's what I'm thinking short term. Long term, I mean, just depends when the market gets good again, doesn't it? If the market gets good again, I think maybe TON's position to be one of the ones that takes advantage or has a good pump up. It's been a while since it's had a decent pump. So we'll see. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking on Ton anyway. So yeah, big thank you to everyone who's joined today. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And for those of you that are obviously in Stonksy, see in the Discord, if you do join Stonksy, let me know when you come into the Discord. Just say you joined from one of my streams. It'd be great to see who's coming over. And yeah, obviously catch you tomorrow for Friday's stream. I will have Wizard of Ultron with me tomorrow, and I'm going on this stream in the morning as well. But yeah, that's all for me today. Big thank you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support, and I'll catch you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.